At 4:47 p.m. local time, a Russian Su-34 fullback lifted off from Saki Air Base in Crimea on what its crew believed would be a routine strike mission. The pilot and weapons systems officer had done this dozens of times. The whole sortie would take less than 40 minutes. They'd be back in time for dinner. What they didn't know was that they'd been tracked from the moment their wheels left the runway. 18 kilometers inside Ukrainian territory, hidden in a tree line with its radar cold, a Ukrainian Patriot battery had been waiting for exactly this moment. The Russian crew climbed through 15,000 feet on a heading of 330 degrees, engines humming at cruise power. The pilot monitored the threat warning receiver. Nothing but the usual background noise of Ukrainian search radars sweeping the sky. No locks, no spikes. The electronic warfare suite showed green across the board. The Javelin U-pods on each wingtip were primed and ready, but so far there was nothing to jam. At 18,000 feet, the WSO began configuring the UMPK release parameters. 62 kilometers to the launch basket, 11 minutes to weapons away. He'd already selected the target coordinates, a grid square in central Kherson. Whether it actually was a military target or just another residential block, the WSO would never know. His job was to put the bombs on the coordinates. What happened after that wasn't his problem. The pilot leveled off at 24,000 feet and throttled back to conserve fuel. Airspeed settled at 870 km/h. The aircraft was running a mission silent. No radar, no data link chatter. Just a cold airframe on a straight line heading. Standard procedure for penetrating Ukrainian airspace. The less you broadcast, the harder you are to track. Or so they thought. What the Su-34 crew couldn't know was that their cold airframe still radiated heat, and Ukrainian passive sensors had been watching that thermal signature since it had crossed the coastline. The pilot believed he was invisible. In reality, he was a flashlight in a dark room, 18 kilometers inside Ukrainian territory. The Patriot battery commander stared at his display and allowed himself a single thought. This is the one. 21 minutes of passive tracking, and Su-34 flying fat and happy on a predictable heading. Emission silent, completely unaware. The geometry was perfect. The timing was perfect. In 15 years of air defense work, opportunities like this came maybe once or twice in a career. But the commander had been doing this long enough to know that luck cuts both ways. That Su-34 wasn't some rookie crew. The moment his radar lit up, those two Russians would do everything in their power to survive. And Russians don't eject over Ukrainian territory if they can help it. They'd fight until the airframe came apart. His battery was set up in a tree line, radar cold, locked into the only firing position with the geometry to intercept. The bomber was a gift, but gifts in war always come with a price. The question was whether he'd live long enough to pay it. The passive track was the problem. Ukrainian sensors could detect the bomber without transmitting anything, but the passive network was estimating the bomber's position from thermal contrast alone, and the margin of error was ugly.